Hello, I'm covering section 1.3 on estimation. But first, I will do a brief review on rounding. So how to round up, or round down. So it has two basic steps. Decide first, which is the last digit to keep. Okay, which is the last digit to keep. And if the next digit is 4 or less, round down. And if the next digit is 5 or more, round up. So for example, round the number 165.47. Let's say you want to round it to the nearest tenth. So to the nearest tenth, the last digit you're going to keep is the digit after the decimal point. The number following is 7, so you round up. That's going to be 165.5. You want to round to the nearest integer or to the nearest whole number. So the one you want to keep is 5. The one that follows is 4. So you round up. So don't look at the previous digit. I mean, don't look at the previous rounding. Look at the original number. The number following 5 is 4, so you round down. And so on. So you want to round this number to the nearest 10. Okay, so that's going to be to the nearest 10. That's the second digit. The one that follows is 5, so that's going to be 170. And to the nearest 100, that is the first digit. The number following is 6, so you round up. Okay, so I'm going to read example 1. We're in section 1.3. And I need to share the screen. Okay, so we can make estimates by rounding. So our first example shows how rounding can give us a quick estimate. Recall that when rounding, if the digit to the right of the digit being rounded is 5 or greater, we round up. Otherwise, if it's 4 or less, we round down. So suppose that on your way home from work, you stopped at the market to pick up the items listed in table 1.7 in the next page. So I'm going to show you the table. So you have this item: cereal, milk, bread, lunch meat, pickles, and dishwashing liquid. You also would like to buy a half gallon of ice cream for $3.59. But you remember that you have only $20 in your wallet, and you don't want to be caught in the checkout line without enough money. Use rounding to the nearest 10 cents to estimate the total cost of your purchases and decide if it is safe to put the ice cream in your cart. Okay, so what they do in this example is rounding. Suppose that you don't have a calculator, so you round to the nearest 10 cents and then add the numbers. So the total, the real cost is $17.19, but by rounding to the nearest cent, the cost is $17.30. Okay, so you can add the rounded prices mentally to get $17.30, and you decide that the half gallon, which was $3.59, is probably too expensive, and decide to buy a quart of ice cream instead. So notice that in the last example, that if you have rounded to the nearest dollar, your estimate would have been 16, and you would have taken the half gallon, which would have put you over 20. So that's why they rounded to the nearest cent. And the other methods for making estimates is by using compatible numbers. So another way to make a quick estimate that is slightly different than rounding is to use compatible numbers. In using compatible numbers, instead of using the given numbers in a problem, we substitute other numbers that are easier to work with. Okay, so we can estimate. We can make estimates by rounding and by using compatible numbers. Okay, so by rounding and by using compatible numbers. Okay, so for example, if you want to estimate 39 times 594 by using compatible numbers, let's say you don't have a calculator at this moment. So by using compatible numbers, you can, so 31 times 594 is, this symbol means approximately equal, so that's going to be approximately equal. Instead of 31, choose 30, and instead of 594, choose 600. That's something you can do. You can do mentally. 3 times 6 is 18, and you have 3 zeros. And for this matter, the exact answer is 18,414. Okay, so the exact answer is 18,414. Okay, so I'll take the following example from page 35, number 8 on page 35. So I'm going to copy the directions. So let's copy the directions and the problem. And so that one I'm just going to copy. Actually, that's the book. Okay, so estimate the answers to the following problems. Use either rounding or compatible numbers. In some cases, your answer may differ from the ones in the book, depending on the method you use. That's on page 35. We're looking at number 8. So they are asking you to estimate 2068 divided by 72.4. Okay, so if you do this by rounding, it doesn't say, by the way, it doesn't say whether you should round to the nearest tenth or to the nearest integer, or it doesn't give you any more information. So that really depends. If you're doing this on my MATLAB, just pay attention whether they want you to round to the nearest whole number, the nearest 10, the nearest 100, or so, or just pay attention to that. So 2068 divided by 72.4. So that's the answer. If we round to the nearest tenth, that's going to be 28.6. Okay, so let's say we round to the nearest tenth. So rounding to the nearest tenth, the estimate is going to be 28.6. And by using compatible numbers, using compatible numbers, 2068, that's going to be about 2100. And 72.4 is approximately 70. So that's going to be 30. Okay, so we're going to look at number 20 now. So I'm not using a calculator, except for the one where we use rounding. I'm not using a calculator on number 20. Okay, so without a calculator, let's suppose that Chandra bought a new computer for 1,389. If the sales tax is 6%, what is her total bill? Okay, so make an estimate by using compatible numbers. So make an estimate without a calculator by using compatible numbers. Okay, so using compatible numbers, 1,389, that's going to be approximately 1,400. So the tax is going to be, well, in 6%. Every time we do arithmetic with percents, we need to convert this to decimal. So 6% as a decimal is 0.06. Okay, so the sales tax, 6%. So the sales, okay, so so the tax is going to be 6% of 1,400. If you cannot get this right away, we can use the distributive property. 100 or 1,400 is 1,000 plus 400. And distributive property, this is 1,000 times 0.06 plus 400 times 0.06. Okay, so 6% of 100. 1 times 6 is 6. And then we have we need to move the decimal point to places. So that's going to be 60. 4 times 6 is 24. And then we have two zeros, but you have two numbers after the decimal point, so that's going to be indeed 24. Okay, so she will pay $84. So the tax amount is going to be $84. And the total bill is approximately 1,400 or 1,400 plus 84. So the actual bill, just for comparison, the actual bill is 1,389 times 1.06. And this is 1,472 with $72 with 34 cents. So let's make this look like a 4. So let's go back. So if you have graphical data, often you can use estimation to summarize information that is given to you graphically. So we're going to do example 3. I'm going to copy the statement and the pie chart on the left. Okay, so that's the problem, and let's copy the pie chart. The pie chart on demographics. So that's on page 31. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, by the year 2050, the population of the United States will be 490,854,000 people. Use the graph in figure 111 to estimate the number of Hispanics who will be living in the United States in 2050. So we're going to use, again, compatible numbers. So 24.4%. A compatible number is 25%. As a decimal, that's 0.25. And 419,854,000. That's approximately 400 million. Okay, so the number of Hispanics who will be living in the United States in 2050, that's going to be approximately 25% or 400 million. This is 0.25 times 400 million, or 400 million divided by 4. 400 million divided by 4 is going to be 100 million. Okay, so approximately 100 million Hispanics will be living in the United States. The actual answer is going to be, well, that's still an estimate. That's those numbers are projections of the population, but you want to get a more accurate answer, that's 419,854,000 and 24.4% of that. And that is going to be 102,444,376 people. Okay, now I'll finish the section with 2 more examples. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to do, yes, I'm going to do problems 37 to 40, but I need to copy the directions, the graph that we're going to be working with, and the questions. So this is on page 36. Okay, so we're going to be using this graph, and we're going to answer the following questions. Okay, so let's make this more visible. There it is. Okay, so the graph, the following graph shows the difference, by the way, page 36. The following graph shows the difference in the value of smartphone apps downloaded from the App Store and Google Play from 2016 to 2018. Use this graph to estimate the answer from exercises 37 through 40. We give exact answers in the back of the text, but we're going to use estimates. Okay, so question 37. By using the graph, estimate the approximate value of the apps downloaded from the App Store in 2017. Okay, so from the Apple Store, so that's in 2017, that's going to be the yellow bar, and we can see a number between 20 and 40. That's, and I'm just making an estimate, a visual estimate. Looks like it's going to be somewhere about 26. And actually, we're going to compare with the back of the book. That's going to be about 27%, or about, yeah, about 26%. But let's compare with the answer in the back of the book. So that's still the whiteboard. Okay, so we're going to look at the answer in the back. So we're in section 1.3. This was number 37. So that's section 1. We're looking for section 3. That's 1.2.1.3. Number 37 actually says, okay, that's $1 billion. So let's see what happened. Well, actually, there's, yeah, I wrote percent because it says here percent. It doesn't say, okay, I see. So that's in billions of dollars, so it says percent. So in billions of dollars, okay. Yeah, I misread the graph, but that's approximately, according to the book, well, I just made an estimate. in the back of the book, it says about 27.8%. They have the exact value. So let's say about 28 billion. And I'm just making a raw estimate. Number 38, estimate how much more the value of the apps downloaded from Google Play was than that of the Apple Store in 2018. So we're going to compare the red bars. So Google Play and 18. So Google Play looks like it's approximately about 76. And Apple Store, how much more? So the Apple Store in 2018, that looks about somewhere in the middle. So looks about 30%. So that's going to be approximately 46 billion. Number 39, estimate the increase in the value of the apps worldwide from 2016 to 2018. That's number 39. Okay, so worldwide, we're looking at the first set of bars. That's going to be approximately 105%. I'm just making a raw estimate. Minus, looks about 84%. So that's approximately 21 billion. And let's see what the book has. So I'm just making, and I'm not going to change the number. I'm just going to keep it like that. But 39, yeah, about $21 billion. And 40, did the difference between the value of Google Play and the App Store increase, or stay the same from 2016 to 2018? Well, you can see that that they both increased. They both increased. Okay, the difference between the value. Yeah, so they both increase. Well, and we know that because it says explain, but we see the, well, we see the upward trend of the bars. Okay, this is going to be the last example. Is going to be questions 45 through 48 on page 37. So these are going to be the last ones. Okay, so I'm going to copy the graph and the questions. Yes, okay, so that's going to be on page 37. And here are the questions, 46 through 48, 45 through 48. The following pie chart shows a distribution of immigration into the United States in a recent year. Use this graph to estimate the answers to exercises 45 through 48. The total number of immigrants was 705,361 people. So how many people immigrated to the United States from Asia? So we're going to use compatible numbers. 705,361. We're going to use a compatible number of 700,000. So on number 45, so people who immigrated to the United States from Asia, we can see on the graph that this is 30.2%. So 30.2%. We're going to use a comparable number of 30%. Okay, so 30% of 700,000. That is going to be 210,000. Yeah, actually, I'm going to I'm going to use space better. So let's bring this up. Number 46. How many people immigrated to the United States from Europe? Europe, we can see that this is about 13%, 13.2%. So we're going to use a compatible number. And the total number of people is going to be 13% of 700,000. So that is going to be 91,000. Number 47, if 130,661 people immigrated from Mexico, what percent was that of the total number of immigrants? So I'm going to choose a number we can divide by 7. In this case, it's going to be 14. 130,661. That's approximately 140,000. Okay, so we're going to find the percentage. 140,000 over 700,000. That's approximately 20%. And the last question, if 41,034 people immigrated from China, what percentage was that of the total number of immigrants? 41, so I'm going to use the space to answer number 48. 41,034 is approximately 42,000. We're going to find that the percent. What percent is 42,000 of 700,000? Okay, 42 over 7 is 6, and that's going to be 0.6 or 6%. Okay, so this is it. This finishes section 1.3. Thank you for listening.